parentheses first, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, in that order. So I'm looking at this, I see no parentheses, I see no exponents, so that takes me to multiplication and division. We can do those left to right. So I see here, first I'll do 4 times 7, 28. And then I see here, going left to right, I could also do 8 divided by 4, which is 2, plus that 10 at the end. Now all we have left is we have the subtraction and the addition. So 28 minus 2 is 26, plus 10 equals 36 for our answer.
36?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Any questions on that first one? All right. The next one. We've got another expression here. We're going to follow PEMDAS. 2 plus 5 squared minus 5 in parentheses divided by 10 minus 1. So first here, parentheses. So when you see parentheses, what you're going to do is you'll follow PEMDAS within the parentheses like you're doing the whole other thing. So here, I'm going to follow PEMDAS in here. So first I'm going to do the exponent. That 5 squared is 25 minus 5. And then I'll be able to take care of the rest of that in there. So I get 2 plus 25 minus 5 is 20, divided by 10 minus 1. Now I've got 2 plus 10 divided by 10 minus 1. So next on the order of PEMDAS would be division. So I'm going to do 20 divided by 10, which gives me 2. Leave me with 2 plus 2 minus 1. And then I can...
That's 3, right?
Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. 3.
Yeah, I knew it.
Right. Any questions on these first two? PEMDAS, follow the order of operations. All right, next up we've got a couple of problems that are similar, but we have variables to plug in, to substitute. So it says evaluate the expressions when x equals 3 and y equals negative 2. So I'm going to substitute those values in the spot of the expression here. So I get negative 2 squared, and I like to put it in parentheses, plus 5 times 3 minus 13. So negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, which makes positive 4. 5 times 3 makes 15, minus 13. So then these two will add up. 4 plus 15 is 19. And 19 minus 13 is 6. So solution is 6. All right. Number 4. X over 10 minus y over 10. So it's the same thing. We're going to substitute. I'm going to do it over here because we got more room. So we're going to plug in the 3 in the x spot. So 3 over 10 minus y is negative 2. So it'll be negative 2 over 10. Like that. So with this, what I'm going to do is we're subtracting a negative, right? So I can change this to 3 over 10 plus 2 over 10. Because we're subtracting a negative, and when we subtract a negative, it's the same as adding the opposite number. 3 over 10 plus 2 over 10, we add the numerators and the denominator will remain the same, so we get 5 over 10, which is a valid answer. We can simplify this though, right? This is like 5, and this is like 2 times 5 down here. And cancel out the 5's, giving us 1/2 as a final answer, 1 over 2. Any questions here? Questions? All right, the next one is working on a number line, putting numbers in order from least to greatest. So smallest numbers first, small numbers first, and the bigger numbers last. So what you can do here, if you need to, is you can convert the fraction to a decimal, or vice versa. You can convert decimals into fractions. So let's see. What I'll do here is this 5 over 4, I'm going to call it 1 1/4, right? I just turned it from an improper fraction to a mixed number. And then the 0.5, that's 1/2. Now I've got all whole numbers and fractions to work with. So going through here, smallest number here would be -3. And you can look on the number line as well. That's always a strategy you can use. So we've got -3 as our smallest number. And we've got, looking through here, there's one more negative. -2 is bigger than -3. It's further along to the right on the number line. Next up, I see we've got 1/2, 3, and 1.5. So 1/2 would be the smallest of those three. We've got 1 1/4 coming next, and then last we have 3. So there's our 5 numbers from least to greatest. So again, this 1 1/4, that was the 5/4, and this 1/2, that was the 0.5. Any questions on that? And you've got the number line available to you. You can always write that up if you need it as a strategy. Okay. Next one, simplify the expressions. So with these, we're not solving, we're just going to combine like terms. If we need to distribute, we would do that wherever we see it. So here, we find the like terms. Like terms here, -7y, +3y. So I'm just going to change the order of this so I can really combine them easily. So I'm going to put -7y plus 3y next to each other. And then we have +4 and -10. These are both constants, so we'll combine these as well. -7y and +3y, if we add those two together, it's -4. So we have -4y's altogether. And 4 minus 10, if you add those two together, it's -6. So we get -4y minus 6. We can't do anything with this because this is a variable, and this is a constant. We can't combine variables and constants. So that would be the final answer simplified. With this one, this is kind of like, I like to think of it as like the reverse of the distributive property. Right? It's like with the distributive property, we're multiplying a number times everything in the parentheses. With this one, we're dividing the 7 by everything up here. So if you wanted to break this up into 2 parts, you could call this 35x over 7, and then you can say plus -14 over 7. We're just dividing everything on top by 7. And I wanted to call this a -14, so I added between them. All right, and then 35x divided by 7. If you have 35x's and you divide them into 7 groups, that's going to be 5x's in each group. And then plus -14 divided by +7 is -2. So you can say 5x plus -2, or you can say 5x minus 2. Both are they're the same thing. Sorry. So 35x divided by 7, 5x's plus -14 divided by +7 makes -2. And these two are the same here. Both are equally valid answers. Questions on that? So next we have a long series of equations to solve, starting with this one. So the idea is we're trying to figure out what y needs to be to make this work, right? So first thing, I don't like subtracting a negative. I think it's easier and more straightforward if we just say y plus 7 equals 13. And then we would solve this by, we need to get the y by itself, so we need to move this 7 over here. This says plus 7, so we do inverse operations, the opposite. So the opposite of adding 7 would be to subtract 7, which we need to do on both sides. Remember, it's like a scale. What you do on one side of the equal sign, you need to do to both sides. So it's plus 7 minus 7, that balances out to 0. And so we get y on the left side by itself, which is what we want. 13 minus 7 is 6. So the answer is y equals 6. Next we have 3x minus 6 equals 2. So same thing here, you have a few more steps though. And to do this, we need to make sure we're looking, it's kind of like the opposite of PEMDAS. We're looking in order of the things we're going to do. So the first thing, if I'm looking at the opposite of PEMDAS, that would be, we talked about this before, SAD, MEP. So you go through and you see, is there anything I can subtract or add on the side of the variable to get it by itself? Well, yeah, there's a negative 6 here. So the inverse of subtracting 6 would be to add 6 to both sides of the equal sign. So negative 6, positive 6, that makes our 0. We get 3x equals positive 8. And then next on the list would be, okay, I want to get the x by itself here. This is 3 times x. The inverse of 3 times x would be to divide by 3. So we'll divide by 3 on both sides. 3 over 3 makes 1. So we get x by itself on the left, and then we have this fraction. 8 over 3 is our answer for number 9. And if you wanted to check the answer, you could plug it back into the original equation here. So it would be 3 times 8 over 3 minus 6, and that would actually work out to be 2. All right, and then we've got this one here. Same idea, follow SADMET. So the first thing I need to do, don't multiply by 3. That's not, that would come later, right? First thing we can do is we can add 9 to both sides. So let's add 9 to both sides. Negative 9, positive 9, that makes 0. 2 plus 9 on the right makes 11. Y over 3 on the left. And then this is y divided by 3. The opposite of dividing by 3 would be to multiply by 3, which we do on both sides of the equation. That cancels out to make 1. So we have y by itself on the left side here. And then 11 times 3 makes 33. You can stop here.